Good day. I'm Menachem Abichayel for Trust in Hashem. This week's Parsha is Mikeitz. It's the 10th Parsha of the first book of the Torah. Last week, as you know, in Bereishit, it ends with Yosef being in prison. This week, it starts out with Yosef being taken out of prison. Pharaoh has a dream, and in that dream, he dreams of cows and of crops, and nobody can seem to interpret the dream. So the cupbearer, his cupbearer who was in prison with Yosef, tells Pharaoh that there was a Hebrew slave in there, the slave to the chief executioner, Pontifori, the one who put him in prison, because his wife accused him of being forward with her. Pharaoh has him summoned. They clean him up, they dress him in clean clothes, they put him in front of Pharaoh. Pharaoh starts telling him about the dream. Yosef says, look, I can't interpret it myself. However, Hashem will give us the words for it. He will interpret your dreams, Pharaoh. So Pharaoh tells him the dream. Yosef gives him the words of explanation. Pharaoh loves the explanation. He loves it so much, he puts Yosef in charge of all of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. So Yosef is in charge of all the grain, all the business dealings of Egypt. There's 7 years of plenty, and then the 7 years of famine start. Yaakov's other sons are back in the land of Canaan, and they are told by their father, Yaakov, go to Mitzrayim. They have food. Get us food so we don't starve. So they go down to get food. They enter to the main city of Mitzrayim, Egypt, and they go in front of the person who's in charge, which is, as we know, Yosef, only they don't recognize him. When he left, he was 17, a kid. No beard, no mustache, nothing. Now he's 30 years old. He's got a full beard, he's married, has children. He's a much different man. They don't recognize him. So Yosef starts putting them through tests to see, really mainly, number one, are they repentant of what they had done to him? 2, did they actually kill his brother Benjamin also? He wanted to know that. As it turns out, they're very, very repentant. And they bring their brother Benjamin there, and so he forgives them, and they're sitting down to eat. And when they're sitting down to eat, right, the Egyptians don't eat in the same room as where Yosef's at. And the reason the Torah gives is because the Hebrews eat cattle, one of their gods. Remember, Egypt was a polytheistic, multi-god country. They didn't have one god. They had multi-gods. Even Pharaoh himself claimed he was a god, Meshuggah, but that's what he did. So anyway, this is very important. They say because in the Torah, somewhere early on in the Torah, things will happen that will tell you later on the way things are supposed to be. And as we know, later on, the nation, Am Yisrael, is told to be a nation sole and separate from the other nations, not to mix with them. Here we have in this Parsha Mikeitz, the very first example of us not mixing with the other nations. What's the reason for that? Well, they're idol worshippers. They can influence us to do idol worshiping. If you look at what's happening nowadays, you can see the detrimental effect it's had on Israel. It's Israel's obligation and responsibility to keep kosher, to keep the Sabbath, to keep the laws of the Torah. May Hashem help us in keeping the laws of the Torah. May the third temple be built in our time and the Mashiach come. This is Menachem Avichal for Trust in Hashem. Have a good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.